Welcome guys to another episode of Tier Makers. In this video we're going to be ranking all of the different countries in Sonic Unleashed. And yeah, I'm just going to be ranking them just off of how much fun I had in them, and there might be some other factors that play into it, but yeah, without any further ado, let's get started with the Podos. Podos, I think it was a really good one to start out in. I I really like just the environment, and the only thing I will say is that I wish like the hub world was a little bit bigger in it, because it's mainly my problem with the hub world is that it's just not big enough. It's just I really like the architecture and like the environment that it's in, and yeah, I think it's just like a really cool one to walk around in. But yeah, I'll give it. I think I'll give it just barely S tier, but it's just a really fun one to go through. Next up, Missouri. I like Missouri. It has again cool architecture. Well, all of these have pretty cool architecture. I like them. I think Sonic Unleashed is my favorite looking Sonic game. It's not my favorite playing Sonic game, although the controls are really good in it. Although it just looks so amazing. It was just really fun, and I didn't really see. I know a lot of people said that the frame drops were really bad, but I didn't really get that many. I also was playing on the Xbox 360 version, but yeah, I think it was still like a pretty good like. I think it was still pretty good though, but I'll give it C tier, just a little bit lower because there's a lot of other really good ones. Next up, we have Hello Sky. It was this one. It was Little Me always like Little Me never played that far through Sonic Unleashed, and I always really wanted to try like low skill levels, and then I don't want to say disappointed, but it was a little bit annoying. Like for some reason there was just like Holosk had like a little bit of like a difficulty spike, and then it just went back down. I don't know, the levels in Holosk were just kind of annoying. I think mainly it was like the 3 section where you have to run on the water and dodge like the purple things, but it was still like on the it was still a visually stunning level. I really liked it, but I think I'll have to give it B tier just because the gameplay wasn't my favorite on it. It's not to say it wasn't like fun. I'm sure if I replayed through it now, I'd probably get through a lot easier. But yeah, see, next up we have Spagonia. Spagonia, it's the well before I played Unleashed, it was the one I was most familiar with because my favorite game, Sonic Generations, has Rooftop Run in it, and it it was cool playing through because it uses the like it uses like the level layout of the Act One in this, like really similar, except it just rearranges it. So I kind of knew what I was doing when I was going through. So I got a fairly good rank while going through on the first try. It was just like cool, like kind of knowing what was coming, like the quick step sections, and like the laser robots, and there was like a lot of other sections. But yeah, I think it was a really good and besides that, it was just a fun one to go through. But yeah, I'll give it A tier. So next up we have Chun Chan. It was a really fun one. It looked really cool. I like that it wasn't just like a bright blue sky like most of the other ones have. I like that it was like kind of cloudy, and it was just I don't know, I really like it. And then also I there's like that cool glitch in it of right when you get the air boost shoes, if you boost into the ring that tells you how to use it, then also there's a circle of rings right next to it that you can get infinite rings off of. Which if you buy chili dogs, then those give you XP, so you can like level stuff up. But yeah, it's also done this the level itself is like a really fun level, and it's one that like there's not really a shortcut, but there's like a couple sections like on the second section, it might be the third one, I don't know, of where there's turning platforms. It's really fun when you. It doesn't always work all the time. Sometimes you just die when you try to do it. But if you homing attack off of two things, it gives you sometimes just barely enough to where you can use it on like a higher up enemy. Because for some reason, in Sonic Unleashed, the I don't know how it is in Generations. I haven't really tested it that much, which is kind of weird because I've played Generations a whole lot more. But the homing attack has huge range in Unleashed, but yeah, is and there's like a little skip you can do there. But besides that, the rest of the levels are fun. I think it's like a good one. I think I'll give it A tier. Let's see. Next up, we have Shamar. Shamar, the daytime level is pretty good. I expected it to be a lot harder for some reason, but I was kind of happy when it wasn't like too insanely difficult. But yeah, I mainly based off the gameplay. It wasn't really that memorable. It was just like the stage that I think I probably remember the least, but it was still pretty fun though. I'll give it B tier. See, next up we have Empire City. It was neat seeing another city and it feeling like really different from the other cities, mainly because it's more like modern New York themed. But it was I don't know, it's just a really fun one to play through. Although one thing I'll say about Act One is that it is really fun, but near the end there's a really annoying section where you do the quick step. But if you take any damage, you just fall right to the bottom, which is kind of annoying. But it's so like visually different from everything else that I don't know, I really like it. Eh, I'll give it A tier. I really like it. Let's see. Last but not least, we have Ab. See, Adabat. Sorry if I messed up that name, but Adabat. It looks really cool. The gameplay wasn't always my favorite on it. It was mainly the quick step sections. I like to say I'm pretty because the quick step sections. It's just that when they take so long, it's so annoying. Like there's this one side day level, where the whole thing was quick stepping, and it went on for so long. It was so annoying at a point where I realized that it was over water, so I could just boost on the water at a point and then just barely get enough height to jump on one of the platforms and beat it. But the first time that I got so close to the end, and there was one of those little like things that like grab onto you, and like one of those things that grab onto you and drain your rings and then like explode. So and one of those got me and I died right at the end. I was so mad, and I finally went through again and beat it. But besides that, like the rest of the level, aside from the quick step sections, was pretty good. Although I was really on edge because I didn't want to die and have to do another quick step section. But it was still like really cool looking, so I'll give it C tier. And I think last I should probably talk about Eggman Land. I'm on right now. I'm almost done with my playthrough of Unleashed, and I've finished everything except Eggman Land. I've gotten so close to the end of it twice, on like the Werehog section where there's like the two Gaia like the big ones, and I've just gotten so close to getting through it and just failed twice, and I for some reason cannot figure out where to get extra lives, and it's just so annoying going through like over and over. Although the difficulty spike, it's pretty big. Although like I think the main thing is like the difficulty spike on the werehog sections aren't that big besides like the ones near the end, except the platforming, that's pretty annoying. But the regular Sonic sections aren't that bad except near the beginning. There's like a lot of sections like that, but it's still like pretty fun. It's fun to go through, but at a point it gets kind of frustrating, so then you just go play Sonic Generations. But yeah, it's still like pretty fun, and I'm excited to fight the Egg Dragoon and Dark Gaia. But yeah, I'll let you guys know when I beat that, and I'll let you guys know what I think of those two bosses. And I meant to mention it in my last video because it would have fit pretty well. But there's like a couple of videos some dude in my comment section, which it was a comment that I thought was pretty interesting. Um, I don't know if it was I don't know if it was just what he was guessing the bosses would be, or if he had like some sort of like insider information on what they'd be. But I'm from how he phrased it, it sounded like it was like leaks of like the bosses that were gonna be in the new Sonic Generations remake, and it's just like a couple of videos ago. I don't remember what they said, but for if it was guesses, then those are some really good guesses. A lot of those seemed like really fun to refight. I don't know if the bosses were gonna be for just Shadow, like the Shadow, not DLC, but like the it's kind of the regular Sonic Generations remake and then Shadow. So I don't know if they were gonna just give us the old bosses or if they were gonna switch them up for the new ones. But one that really caught my eye is Dark Gaia being on that list, and if that was just like insider information, it'd be really cool to fight Dark Gaia again. And knowing how like it works with like remakes, that boss fight works a little differently. So I'd like to see how we're able to like fight Dark Gaia, and I think it'd be really cool. Although I feel like that'd be more of like a final boss or something, and I really don't think they're gonna replace the Time Eater. But yeah, that'll be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy, and goodbye, Monopakite.